My title is a money influencer. And for those who don't know, that's pretty much like a Kardashian, but instead of talking about shoes and makeup, I'm just talking about money. We get,
I love it. I love it. I love it. That's great. A money influencer. Yes.
Hey there, Dominique Henderson, your CFP on YouTube, with another Conversations in Finance with Mr. Andre Albritton of the Millennials Next Door brand. Andre boasts over 20,000 Instagram followers at this point, and he stopped by to give us some of his tips and tricks for social media growth. If you are a financial advisor and if you are looking to build your brand, there is no doubt that social media and all the different avenues, the different platforms is a huge opportunity for people to know, like, and trust you. And I was very curious to have this conversation with Andre so that he can let us know some of the things that he's been using and that he's been helping his clients with. But as I always like to start, I wanted to see what opened the door for him to pursue this passion in the field of finance and even in the first place.
So for myself, when I graduated college, Florida A&M University, shout out.
Oh, he's a rattler. Oh, God.
I had to shout us out.
Do you, man?
When I got out of college, like in 2011, I started working in insurance. You know, if no one doesn't know about insurance, there is always a job. So I think like around 2016, I'm still in insurance. I'm kind of getting a little fidgety in the office. I'm going to say, oh, let me try something else while I can. One of my friends, she was studying for her certified financial planner. And I said, okay, well, I talk about money. I'm good with my money, even though I'm just kind of cheap. That's why I'm so good with my money. So I started going down the CFP route. I finished the education route. I finished the experience. I still need to take the test. I worked inside a financial firm. And then that's where I kind of started noticing a little bit of a change for myself. Pretty much in the sense that I didn't like helping people I didn't like helping people manage their wealth. I prefer to help people build their wealth instead, especially when we see like these clients who like make six figures or more, and they are still struggling just because they lack a basic understanding of financial literacy. So I said, okay, well, let me go and just build this up. And all the time while I'm doing this, I started a blog while I was studying for the CFP. And so, oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Oh, that's interesting too. I didn't know that. And I'm blogging about this stuff along the way, and people are blogging with me too. They say, oh, I didn't know that either. You know, it's like we're all learning together. And I think that's why a lot of people enjoy the content too, because it's coming from a novice still. You know, so I'm learning about this just as much as you are. I didn't get the same education you did as a kid. We're the same, but because I'm doing it, that means you can do it too. So for myself, I just get bored. So, you know, after, you know, you've been paying the bills for a while, it's just like, okay, I'm getting really bored with this. I need to start learning something else, something that's beneficial, you know, for my future. And I just remember when I was looking into the CFP, I'm like, okay, people talk about money. They manage money. That's nice. I think I would like that. And I read an article on Michael Kitz's website for how to be a financial coach. I believe it was Garrett Fibbin who wrote it. And pretty much the financial coach thing was just brand new to me. And it's just like people will pay you to tell them what to do with their money. And I've been doing that for free. I said, okay, I'm doing this stuff for free already. Let me jump on this financial coach route too.
So what year was that? Do you remember what year was that? Because coaching's been around maybe a good 5 to 7 years, maybe 10, depending on who you talk to. But how long ago was that?
That's probably around 2017.
Okay.
So that's the time when I started the CFP route on September 2016. Started an Instagram account around that time too.
Okay.
That's pretty much me just posting some random stuff. But yeah, I'll say 2017, probably late 2017. So I was still going for the CFP, right? This is like 2017. What really made me go a little bit more into it was when I saw my followers and I saw some of those struggles, right? And then I also noticed that, as you probably know, a lot of them don't have a lot of assets under management. So, you know, when I'm working inside the financial firm, I see two different sides of it, right? I see the business side and I also see the side that needs help. So now I'm trying to think of a way, how can I help them out and still make a living off of it? You know, something I at least can keep my lifestyle with. So I said,
wait, okay. So that's a very important point. I'm glad you brought that out, Andre. So there is this, well, let's call it a dichotomy of you're in this business and you're like, I got to pay bills, but I do have this heart to help. And so you kind of noticed that I guess the firm you're working for, there was probably a little bit more on the profit orientation side. You probably had to have a certain type of person that you talk to and that qualified. Whereas you as a human being, you were just wanting to help a lot of people and you had to figure out how to do that profitably.
Right.
Now, Andre sees himself as a money influencer, which I love that term. And he goes into what that is and how he sees that role affecting the financial services industry going forward.
My title is a money influencer. And for those who don't know, that's pretty much like a Kardashian, but instead of talking about shoes and makeup, I'm just talking about money. You know,
I love it. I love it. I love it. That's great. You know, like, a money influencer. Yes.
Yeah. And it's a very new term that all the other companies are still catching up to as well. You know, like Charles Schwab, the Fidelities, they'll catch up to that term as well because they are seeing that a lot of millennials aren't connecting with them. So they have to go out to other audiences now to go ahead and pretty much get in a good light for themselves. So that's been a struggle I've seen. And I would imagine for financial advisors, it's probably be the same thing too one day.
No, I think you bring up a good point. And, you know, a lot of brands use personalities, and we see it on Instagram all the time. Kardashian is Kim Kardashian, or the whole family actually, is a great example of how, you know, brands use them and their influence to market their products all the time. And I can see that happening in financial services, to your point.
Andre's perspective on doing video as a financial advisor or financial professional is not a unique one. And if you've been watching me for some time, you're going to say yet another influencer, Dominique, that you've got on here talking about video. But Andre has some unique points that I think you should pay attention to.
The reason why I think videos work so well, especially, you know, for millennials and the next generation, is we have short attention spans, right? And, you know, it's like the saying goes, a picture's worth 1,000 words. Imagine how much a video's worth. And the good thing about it is it builds a connection. So I can post a picture of me on Instagram, on my social medias, and it's just a still image. If I do a video, that's a chance for me to really interact with them, and they can kind of see more of my personality, and I can bring them a little bit more into my world. You know, it's just a little bit, it's going the next step past the pictures, past the content. And from what I've seen, it's definitely doing a lot more good than most, especially if you're a good motivational speaker. You know, you can be like the E.T. hip hop preacher of the world and make a killing from it just by doing videos. And, you know, I know one person who's utilizing it very well. They go by the name of Jazz Finance on YouTube, if you ever heard of them.
Yes, I have seen him. I love him. I love him.
It's amazing. Like I would love to talk to them. This to see if that's their main marketing, just because they have a lot of followers, they have a lot of subscribers. They are still talking about investing, education. And what they are doing is they are building a rapport with all their potential customers. So, you know, when I'm a customer and I'm thinking, okay, I'm watching this guy for like the past 6 months, and I finally take out my 401k, who am I going to go to? I'm going to this guy. He's been talking about, he's been teaching me about it. I'm going to him first before I even look at someone else, basically. And the main thing that people are missing out is potential clients. I mean, I think that's truly, at the end of the day, that's what it is. And we always have to kind of get past that compliance. I had to deal with that compliance too when I was working at the firm. I said, oh, geez, I got to do this, I got to do that.
Got to review it and all that. Yeah.
But, you know, there's still ways you can kind of get around it. There's some basic things you can say that's like saying saving is important. You just need to link yourself to finances some way, somehow, no matter how small or how big it is, just because somebody might not know what you exactly do. And, you know, nowadays the word financial advisor, that can mean so many things, or wealth manager, so many things. And everyone kind of has a CFP nowadays. It doesn't mean what it used to mean before. And, you know, as consumers, they're a little bit confused. So if they just need a little bit of a nudge, that's it.
Another topic that is common in this industry is whether or not you should just work with a specific group of people. It's often been called niching or niching. And Andre has a very unique perspective on this too. See what he said.
Talk about what you've seen as what this term that we use in the industry about niching or niching for a particular thing. Because the jazz guy, you know, he's investments, right? You can tell, like when he comes to your firm, from what I've watched, he doesn't talk a lot about financial planning. He talks about investments and, you know, how to use a Roth 401k and how to use a Roth IRA. And and what the market's doing. You know, he does all these market updates. So it's very investment centric. And I think he's doing a really good job in that sleeve for anybody that wants investment advice. And so he's picked that as a niche. So kind of talk about what you think advisors should, what's your opinion on taking a specific sleeve or topic and concentrating on that versus trying to be a jack of all trades?
Right. So, you know, I can really compare it to just fast food restaurants. So when you think about fast food restaurants, they're all kind of known for one thing. If I want a good burger, you know, I'm going to Five Guys, right? Or I'm going to Burger King. It's in the name. If I want some chicken, I might go to Church's Chicken, or I might go to Popeyes. So when it comes to this whole niche thing, it's pretty much like, okay, do you want to be firing a gun with a scope on it? Or do you want like a shotgun, just kind of splatter it and see what kind of comes into you? And also keep in mind that when you have a niche client, that niche client say, okay, this is my situation. So they are able to say, okay, if I'm in the situation, my friend, they're in that situation now too. So I'm gonna send them their way. You know, I know some niches will be like retirement. The one I worked at was 6-figure executives going through life transactions. It can be nurses, it can be doctors, it can be based off demographics. There's so many ways to niche yourself, but it's just about being a rock star in that niche. You know, for me, it's about millennial minorities. I need to be a rock star in that niche, pretty much to the point, you know, where if it's a company out there who wants to target millennials who are minorities and they don't come to me, I'm insulted at that moment, right? So that's the whole point behind the niche, is saying, okay, this is my thing. This is what I do. This is why you need to come see me. And it's great for referrals. Once again, like I mentioned, people are able to say, okay, I'm in this situation. They're in this situation. I'm bringing them to this guy.
Now, I couldn't let him leave without giving us some of the tricks of the trades. And one of the things that really stood out to me was his comment on letting social media platforms pick you. Here's what he meant by that.
Yeah, so what I'll say is one thing about your demographic. For Facebook, you probably get a little bit of an older crowd nowadays. Kids kind of left that. If you're going after millennials, you can go after Instagram, Snapchat if you're really brave. I can't get on Snapchat yet, man.
Me neither.
You also have LinkedIn. And I'll say the best thing to do is, once you kind of understand where your demographic is located, give a try on all the possible social medias. That's what I tell any business. So get you a Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, everything possible, and see what works and see what social media picks you. So a lot of people, they might think that I was big on Instagram, right? No, my original page, it was born. I didn't post anything. The business account was my old personal account, stuff maybe like 40-ish followers. And I said, okay, well, let me give Instagram a shot. And that's one that picked me. So now I focus on Instagram. LinkedIn picked me next. So I said, okay, I'm going to focus mainly on LinkedIn now. So I think that's one important thing, is because if you notice, like a lot of money influencers, they have their main followings in certain areas. So that's okay. Facebook is the area that picked me, especially if they started a few years back before Instagram. And, you know, Instagram is just popping now. So that's what's one picked me. So I say that's a very important tip, is just, you know, once again, do all the social medias and see which one picks you and stick with that social media and build through that. Because now, like 95% of my business comes through my Instagram. Brands, they slide in the DMs. I'll slide in their DMs. Potential clients, they slide in the DMs too. You know, it's just building that one niche in that one social media.
How are you using, just briefly, how are you using, say, for instance, Instagram or LinkedIn? Like, what's your primary strategy? Are you following hashtags? Are you, you know, like what, kind of give me a little bit of what your strategy is on each platform? Because each of them are different, right? Like people come to those different platforms for different reasons.
Right.
You know, obviously people, they're not looking to see cat videos on the LinkedIn feed. You know, they're looking more for maybe a job or something like that. So people consume entertainment and or information in those platforms in different ways. Talk about a little bit how you're using maybe each of those just briefly.
Yeah, sure. So my main strategy when I started out Instagram was one, I think content is always going to be king, no matter what, at the end of the day. So whether that is content in just regular images, or whether that's content in video, whichever one is fine. You know, with the content, you always want to be consistent as much as possible. For myself, I would do certain days. And before the month starts, my whole social media is just posted for the whole month. So I don't have to worry about that anymore. Monday will be like a motivational tip. Tuesday, Thursday, finance tip. Wednesday, I'll ask a question. Friday, funny Friday. I fill in small things here and there, right? So that's definitely one good technique for it. For the hashtags, I find that when you find a good hashtag, especially, in the financial world, one is like debt-free community. Perfect. It's a bunch of people want to be debt-free, and they're actual people. So it can be a little bit difficult to find the correct hashtag for your business. But, most of the time,
I look for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I remember when I first did the hashtag debt-free community, I got so much more engagement compared to the other posts that just stuck out. So now it's in all of my posts. Just to make sure I'm always going out to that brand over there too.
And do you use, because Instagram allows, I think, 30 hashtags per post or something like that. Do you, like in your debt-free community, you're always having that in your post? And do you utilize the other 29 also? Or are you just kind of like niching out on that one debt-free community? Or how do you do
that? So I'll say my niche posts. So my niche hashtag posts will be millennials. It'll be minorities. And a lot of the times what I'll do is there will be some certain cities. So for my cities, I focus on Atlanta, New York City, and DC. So I always make sure I do those hashtags there as well. I do financial freedom and everything. And then on top of the exact post, that's when I'll start thinking about, okay, for this one, I'm focused on stocks or REITs, and I'll put that hashtag in there as well.
Gotcha. Okay, so these are a lot of great tips. So find the platform that picks you. I love that, but you have to try them all first. Have a content strategy. I have a content calendar also. I talk to people about this all the time. It's so important to plan out your content in advance. Yeah. Find a hashtag that you can kind of start building your brand around. And then another thing that I think is lost on a lot of people that I don't even do a lot as consistently as I need to, but finding a locale, like a city that you can maybe start to build a following in.
Find the focus area, because I'm thinking long term when I'm doing these events later on. I need a fan base. I need one in Atlanta. I need one in New York City. I need one in DC. In college, I had another business where I would post events, and I think back then the main thing was like Twitter. So Twitter had this system where you can pretty much follow, unfollow people. You'll find the account of your demographic. So imagine you want to go after women, so you might want to go after Target followers, because a lot of women follow Target. Mm-hmm. And in this system, it will pretty much follow 100 people per hour, and they will unfollow them a little bit later on. So for Instagram, they don't have that, unfortunately. So my main strategy back then was, one, make good content. And then two, I will follow and unfollow. So that one's always a little bit of a gray area. Some people don't like it. I don't know what to tell you guys. All I know is just effective. It's very effective. So with this one, and let me go down everything, because I want no one's account to get locked out or anything.
Yeah.
If you have a new account, don't do this. Just build the content, wait a few months, because you'll still kind of in the probation period with Instagram. So if you start following and unfollowing a bunch of people, the thing's going to get shut down. Another good tip is after maybe 5 to 6 months of a good account, good content building, then find your demographic and go ahead. Okay, I'm going to follow these 20 to 25 people. And in 2017, that's what I did pretty much every day. I would follow 20 to 25 people, probably once per hour. I'll take an hour break, and I'll come back and do it again. And that's how I really built up the majority of my following. So I started around 40. And when I was doing that, I built it up to about maybe 5 to 6K. And then I stopped. I just let the content take over. And then another important thing is to really clarify, when you are following someone and you unfollow them, it's kind of the trade of the tool. But imagine you are just tapping someone on the shoulder, and they look back and they see what you have. And they're going to say to themselves within probably 5 seconds tops, I'm going to follow this account, or I'm not going to follow this account. And that's how it just goes. So that's why you want to make sure you have a good content following. Because, if you don't have any content, they don't have anything to look at. And no one's going to follow back. So,
that's a great strategy. I've never really thought about that. Bonus.
So I was finding this out from this guy. His niche is credit repair. And he has a 6-figure business off of credit repair.
Wow.
So
okay.
The first part of this is, one, you're going to need emails. and by email. So you can get that just through saying, I'm sending out a newsletter on money, something simple. You can have freebies. For myself, I have about 5 different freebies. I'm about 2,000-ish subscribers now. And the main thing with this, what I learned, is on Facebook ads, you can go ahead and upload the email list into the Facebook ads, and it will follow them. And you can start to do advertisement towards them specifically. So just as an example, my next upcoming strategies, I'm creating a course on teaching about real estate investment trusts. So for this one, I'm gonna start with a freebie, and then the course will be in that freebie, but more importantly, I'll have the person's email saying, okay, this person, they are interested in learning more about REITs. So I put that in my Facebook advertisement, which is extremely low now. I can say, okay, they're going to keep seeing this until they click it. It's going to touch them maybe 3 to 5 times a day over the next 2 weeks, because, you know, when it comes to spending, especially about learning something new, they're not exactly as quick compared, you know, if they're just in the store shopping for food, right? So you always have to kind of keep touching them a little bit here and there, and I'll keep posting about it on Instagram as well. So I think that's an excellent strategy too, that, you know, financial advisors can take advantage of.
Another power-packed conversation with Mr. Andre Albritton of the Millennials Next Door. If you want to catch this on iTunes or your podcatcher of choice, make sure you check out the link down in the show notes. I'll have it over there on my website for you to peruse. And make sure you follow him on Instagram. I'll have his handles down below also. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.